Hare Krishna. Animals choose how to fulfill their bodily drives. We can choose whether to fulfill our bodily drives. All living beings are driven by certain bodily urges. The urge to eat, the urge to sleep, the urge to mate, the urge to defend. And animals are almost like biologically programmed. They just simply have to fulfill the drives. They do have some free will. For example, when a cow is eating grass and say it eats grass along a particular row, then whether it will turn towards left or turn towards the right and eat the grass in the next row. If the grass is equally lush on both sides, then which grass it will eat, that is its free will. So the free will is there even in animals, but that free will is primarily meant for choosing how to fulfill their bodily drives. But whether to fulfill their bodily drives or not, the animals can't choose. For example, if a cat sees a rat, the cat cannot think, oh, today is Ekadashi, I am meant to fast today. The cat will simply pounce on it and eat it if it's hungry. So for it, it cannot think of any purpose higher than fulfilling its bodily drives. We human beings can think of such a purpose. We too have bodily drives and we too fulfill those bodily drives. But our whole existence doesn't have to be defined by the purpose of trying to fulfill the bodily drives. We are meant to do something higher. And in fact, if we think objectively, we all long for lasting fulfillment. And if we again think objectively, none of the bodily drives can give us lasting fulfillment. We feel hungry, we eat. Now, even when we eat, we know that food is not going to give us lasting satisfaction. It gives us satisfaction for a few minutes and we feel nourished for a few hours. After that, we have to eat again. And same with any bodily drive it may be. So, our desire for lasting fulfillment, which cannot be fulfilled at the material level, where the satisfaction of any drive brings only temporary pleasure, that indicates that we are meant for something higher. That there is an aspect of us at our core which is higher. And this higher desire is coming from that higher aspect. So that inner core of ours, the Bhagavad-gita explains, is the soul. The soul is eternal and the soul is meant for eternal happiness. And we human beings can, by directing our inquiry spiritually, by growing spiritually, we can experience higher happiness. So now the bodily drives, when we fulfill them, we get some pleasure. And when they are not fulfilled, we get some pain. When we become spiritually minded, that doesn't mean that we have to give up the bodily drives entirely. It simply means that we don't take material pleasures and material pains so seriously. We don't let all our decisions be determined only by what will give me material pleasure and what will help me avoid material pain. We have a higher purpose. And that higher purpose of spiritual growth, it determines how we function in life. The Bhagavad-gita talks about this state of awareness and function. Dukkheshu anudvigna manaha sukheshu vigata spruha vitaraga bhaya krodha sitadhir muniruchyate. The Bhagavad-gita talks about this repeatedly. If, for example, this particular verse is 2.56 in the Gita, where it says that person is detached from misery and detached from pleasure also. Same thing Krishna repeats in 5.20. Na praharishet priyam prapya no dvijet prapya cha priyam sthira buddhira sammudho brahmavid brahmani stitaha. That the person who is brahmavid, who is a knower of Brahman, brahmani stita, a person who is situated in Brahman, that person is not carried away. That person is not distracted, is not misled, is not extremely affected by either worldly pleasures or worldly pains. Instead, what does a person do? A person focuses on spiritual wisdom, spiritual realization, and gains happiness therein. So we Humans, by going beyond the bodily drives, can actually fulfill our innermost longing for everlasting happiness. Thank you. Hare Krishna.